We're getting close to the end of season 1 and we get some answers, but a lot more questions. Let's talk about Silo season 1, episode 9. Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watcher Pass. It's Friday, which means it's Silo Day. Let's talk about season 1, episode 9, The Getaway, which comes to Apple TV Plus on June 23rd, 2023. This is season 9 in the 10-episode first season. It means we're finally getting close to the end of the season. Do we get some answers? Yes, we do, but we also get a lot more questions. My hot take is, look, I think you should watch it. There's a good build-up episode to next week's finale where we get some answers to some of the big burning questions that we've had. But also it leaves us with a few more questions for what's going to happen next. It has a lot of suspense, a lot of intrigue, and some different storylines that start to converge. Overall, I really liked it. I like the series a lot. I'm very excited to see where the finale goes, but also I'm a little sad because that means that we'll have to wait until the next season of Silo for more information. But that being said, I'm going to tell you a little more about the episode, a few things I liked, a few things I didn't like, and then go into a recap. So as you can imagine, there will be spoilers in the recap section. If you don't want to know what happens in this episode, turn it off then. Before that, I'll be vague, I'll be spoiler free, and I'll let you know when I get to those spoilers. So in Silo season 1, episode 9, you got the big finale of season 1, episode 8, where Jules jumped off the railings of the silo with the hard drive, trying to escape from the clutches of Judicial. Oh my gosh, is she okay? Is she going to die? Well, it's a little anticlimactic because she basically falls like one floor, one story, lands on a walkway, and runs. Not as crazy of a situation as we were led to believe, but you know what? She did it. She escaped. She's got the hard drive, and the search begins. They're trying to find Jules. She's trying to access the hard drive. How will she do it? Will she do it? Can she do it? Will she be caught? You have to watch the episode to find out. So, that being said, things I loved about this episode. The first, look, I love the, crisis. Like, it's a slow-paced episode, but there's a lot going on. There's a few kind of different storylines. They're all converging, all kind of related. And I like that. I like that there is a lot going on. There's a little bit of activity in the silo in a relatively peaceful place. There's a little bit of activity going on. There's a little bit of urgency happening, and it's nice. It's nice to have an episode that feels a little bit more suspenseful. It feels like something is about to happen, because something is. The second thing I loved is, I'm going to call it nuance. Like, a lot of the characters get a little bit more depth here based on some of the background that we're given or some of the things that they are now seeing that they have to kind of choose. I really like that. I like that they are fleshing out some of the characters, especially some of the characters that we thought were pretty much black and white before. Now we're seeing a little bit more granularity in their characters, and we're getting a little deeper understanding. I like that. It makes me excited for the finale and also for season 2. And the last thing I loved, we get some resolution. We finally get some answers to some of the big questions. We are left with more questions, but we finally at least get some big answers that we have been waiting for. This is a nice appetizer episode to get us really hungry for the finale, next week's finale. I am so excited for that, but this is a really nice preview of what is about to happen. So, that being said, things I didn't love as much, very minor. It's kind of a short episode. It's only 45 minutes. I don't know. I kind of wished it was a longer. I just want more Silo. And like I said, I'm sad that this season is going to be ending. I will have to wait for season 2 for more information. I'm excited, though, to find out what happens in the finale. But this episode was 45 minutes. I was hoping it'd be a little longer, maybe an hour, hour 10. Just give us some more time, some more background, some more revelations before we get to the big finale. So, that being said, Silo season 1, episode 9 comes to Apple TV Plus on June 23rd, 2023. Definitely check it out. And if you haven't seen Silo yet, definitely get on board. It is a really good series. It's a really kind of nice Fallout-esque type of series, except it looks at essentially what happens if everyone was still in the vault. I really love it. I love the aesthetic. I love the production values. I love the cast. Definitely check it out. And I'm going to go into a recap now. So if you don't want to know what happens in this episode, turn it off now because there will be spoilers. So like I said, we had that big finale. Oh my gosh, she's jumped over the railing. Well, she's okay. She fell about the floor. Maybe she sprained her ankle, and she's able to escape. So Sims and the Raiders are trying to find her. They kind of send people all over. They raid her apartment. They destroy her apartment. Billings is also trying to find her. He is upset that he let her go. His grip weakened because he's got the syndrome, and that allowed Jules to escape. He feels responsible, so he wants to track her down. Now, while this is all going on, Jules is also out there trying to figure out what is in this hard drive and how she's going to survive. Now, she goes basically the one place that no one would expect her to go. She goes to Sim's house. Sim's wife and child are there, and so Jules essentially takes them hostage, although it's very Jules. She's like, says, I don't want to hurt you. I'm not going to hurt you. Just, do what I say. She handcuffs Sim's wife to a pole in the kitchen and starts trying to access the hard drive. Now, remember, the hard drive needs like super user access to be able to get into it. So she can only access it from a few places. The sheriff's office, she's not going to go there. They're expecting her. The mayor's office, she's probably not going to be able to get there. But someone high up in IT, but Sims is able to have access. So she goes there, the place that no one would expect her to be. She goes there to access the hard drive. She finally accesses it. She's looking through some files, and then she finds one that says, start here. Pretty good place to start. She opens it up, and there's a video message from George. It's saying essentially like, I'm recording a video. This is what they used to call these things, a video on this hard drive. And he's basically giving her information about like what to do with a hard drive, what to look for. Now, while this is happening, Sims's wife is handcuffed to the pole. Well, she used to be a raider. She's pretty crafty. She apparently has keys and a lockpick, so she starts trying to get out of those cuffs. Now, while Jules is watching this video, she is able to undo the cuffs, grabs a hammer, sneaks up on Jules, but rather than like kill her, she looks at Jules and is like, look, as soon as you plugged in that hard drive, they knew where you were. You gotta run now or else they're gonna catch you. Again, like I said, a little bit of nuance, a little bit of a strange reaction. I'm not sure if she did it because she saw George's video or she just wanted Jules out of her apartment, but that is what happened. Jules escaped, but when Sims gets there, Jules is gone. The family is okay. Now, during this time, the raiders are looking for Jules, and they go to various places where she might be. They send someone to walk. They also send people to her apartment, and they ransack it. Billings, also looking for Jules, goes to the apartment as well. Judicial stops him and doesn't let him in, which is weird, right? He's now the sheriff. He should be able to go in, but nope, this is a judicial matter, apparently. Afterwards, he sneaks into the apartment, explores around, finds a piece of the mirror that Judicial appeared to have missed, and realizes it is one-sided. He like looks up in the light, he sees a reflection on one side, turns it over, he sees through the glass on the other side. So I think he's starting to put the pieces together, he's starting to understand. As he's looking around, he goes to Jules' medicine cabinet and realizes that he can pull it out, and behind Jules' medicine cabinet is that relic, the Georgia travel guide that her mother used to own, and that was given to George and now given to her. Billings finds it and starts looking through it and essentially just kind of like cries as he looks through this guide of information about the outside world that like no one in the silo has seen, except for a few people. Now Billings has seen it. Billings, for some reason, I think probably because he doesn't want to get caught with it, but also probably because he doesn't want Jules to be found with it, decides to destroy the guide. But before that, he pulls out a page, and you don't know what page it is. We don't ever find out, but he has a page that he saves, puts in his pocket, takes the guide, puts it in the oven, turns the oven up, burns the guide, evidence destroyed. Well, maybe not, because the fire alarm goes off, so presumably people will now come to check on what's happening. But at least maybe by that point, this whole guide will be burned up and they won't be able to figure out what's going on. Now, with the raiders, with Sims and the mayor, they interrogate Lucas, the IT guy, who was also hanging out in the cafeteria looking at stars. They interrogate him on the fact that he saw the hard drive. They're like, what was on the hard drive? Tell me. He remembers one thing. He remembers that there was a number on it, and it was 18. So now the Sims and the raiders are looking for hard drive 18. They locate it, and they locate it in Sims's house. Sims breaks down, runs towards it. But like I said, when he got there, Jules is gone. The hard drive is gone. His family's okay. Jules enlists the help of one of her old friends from Mechanical, who calls up this like IT specialist, this person who's like a hacker who's on the like relic trade, able to kind of like hack into the IT systems, stay hidden, stay one step ahead. And finally, with his help, they're able to access the hard drive in peace because he directs the raiders to various other apartments in the silo, not his, and they look at the video. Jules is finally able to watch the full video. It is from George. It is sweet because he tells her that he was just going to use her. He was just going to use her for information and then move on. But then unfortunately, he fell in love with her. He's very sweet to her, but he also tells her the next step. He says that he found this door that he was looking for, but he couldn't figure out how to get around it. It is down deep in the silo. He says, don't worry about the water. I don't know what that exactly means yet, but he said there's this door down below and that he couldn't figure out how to get through, but maybe Jules can. He also tells her to watch this file called Jane Carmody Clean. He says that everyone needs to see this. Everyone needs to like get this information. He ends the video by being sweet, by saying that he loves her. So we do find out that even though George used a lot of people, he did love Jules. He did kind of finally find someone that he loved. Unfortunately, he was killed. So So now we also see Sims talking to his wife about what happened, and he's basically upset that she let her go. And Sims' wife, who used to be a former Raider, knows what happened, says that she let Jules go because she didn't want her there when the Raiders got there. Even though Sims told the Raiders to like stand down, not use their weapons, Sims' wife knows like stuff can happen. You don't know you don't know what's going to happen in that situation. She didn't want them to come in guns blazing with her and her son in the apartment. It seems like a plausible excuse, but I don't know. I feel like there is more there. I feel like Sims' wife was touched by the video, was curious about the information. Something about that made her let Jules go because she had the hammer. She was ready to go. And then as Jules was watching the video, she seemed to have changed her mind. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe she actually did just want to get her out of there. But I feel like Sims' wife is maybe a little bit sympathetic. Remember, she used to be a Raider, but she switched for some reason. We don't know why. But I think that there is something else there. Now, back to Jules, back to the video. She goes to the Jane Carmody cleaning, loads it up, and what do you see? You see the view from behind the helmet. You see the view from Jane Carmody as she was cleaning, and it's beautiful. It is gorgeous. You see green, lush fields. You see a tree. You see birds in the sky. You see a blue sky. It looks like a normal world. And Jane is saying things like the display in the cafeteria is wrong. People have to know. People have to see this. And you don't get to see what happens at the very end. So, like, remember, every time that someone was sent out to clean, they would go out, they would take a few steps, and then they would collapse. Now, people in the comments of my videos, and also myself included, think that maybe there is, like, poison in the suit itself. Like, they are able to get out, they're poisoned, and then they kind of fall down. We don't get any inclination from this snippet of video that we see that that is happening. Jane doesn't falter, she doesn't cough. She is just talking about how beautiful it is. So maybe the poison hasn't hit, or maybe that whole display is completely fabricated. Maybe when they do that display, everything about it is fake. So they're able to simulate that the person is collapsing, when in reality, the person is just kind of walking away until they eventually pull off their helmet and they're good to go. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, but what we do know is that now Jules has the information. She has the hard drive. She's able to access it. We don't know what she's going to do with it. Now, I assume that she is going to go look for this door. This door appears to be maybe a way out of the silo that's not through the traditional cleaning route. Maybe it's a secret way out. Maybe it's a secret way to another passage. I don't know. Maybe it's a way to connect to the other silos. Maybe there's other silos out there. We don't know, but that seems to be something that Jules is probably going to do. Also, what is she going to do with this video? Is she going to be able to broadcast it? Is she going to be able to like show other people and kind of start the revolution? We don't know. It seems like there's two paths. I feel like the finale, both of those will happen. Jules will figure out how to get to the door and use that as an escape. But before she does that, she will broadcast the video to the silo so that people will know. That's just my take. That's just my guess. I don't think they would leave both of those hanging for this season. So that is my guess of what happens next episode. I guess we'll find out soon. So again, that's episode 9. There's 10 episodes left. Next week will be the finale. If you haven't started on Silo, I would start now. You could have plenty of time to catch up before the finale, and then we can all watch the finale together. And that is Silo Season 1, Episode 9. It premieres on Apple TV Plus on June 23rd, 2023. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.